Let's look at how to get started with node.js. You are watching Dev Tips and I am MPJ. So what is node.js? JavaScript is known for being the programming language that runs in the browser, and node.js is just a way for us to run it in, well, all other places. In most cases that's on the server, but it might also be like these little Internet of Things devices that run node.js. It's kind of like a browser, but only without the browser parts and only the thing that runs JavaScript. That is basically all that node.js is. It's not a special language, it's not a special dialect of JavaScript or anything like that. It's just JavaScript running in other places than the browser. But why? Why would you want to do this? Why would you want to do JavaScript outside of the browser? Well, a lot of people think that JavaScript is a bad programming language, and the only reason we use it is because we have to use it because it's what's built into browsers. Let's call those people wrong. There are many really nice parts about JavaScript. It's very small, it's very easy to learn. There's you have the capability of doing pretty advanced functional programming. All the big tech companies are competing to provide the fastest implementation of JavaScript. You know, Apple has their browser and Google has their browser, and they're all competing to build the fastest one. So that means that they're constantly pushing the edge for what is possible. So we have like these insanely fast JavaScript environments. I have been programming with a lot of languages, but I just really like JavaScript. It's also nice to be able to use it to build web servers so that whenever I build a front-end app, the application that runs on the server that I interact with is also built in JavaScript, allowing me to just whenever I switch back and forth, I don't have to like switch mindset and tooling. I can use the same tool in both code bases, which are very nice. Anyway, I'm just talking about what and the why. Let's just jump into it and install the thing, and I'm gonna show you how to use it. Let's get a browser here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go Node.js, and I'm going to click the first result. Okay, Node.js, we're on the correct site. And they have two versions. They have like the ultra stable one recommended for most users, and then they have version 10, the current with the latest features. They say that this is recommended for most users, but we're not most users, we're special. So this is clearly not for us, we want the latest features. So I'm going to download that, and then you just press it, and then there's an installer, and you just hit continue. Like this is continue in Swedish. I'm not gonna like continue this because I've already have Node installed, but I think you can do it on your own. I believe in you. Once the installation is done, you open up the terminal. Boom! If you didn't catch what I did there, I just pressed Command Space, that gives me Spotlight, and then I just wrote terminal. If you're not very familiar with the terminal, don't worry about it, it's just a thing for doing things. There's commands in it that you type with the keyboard. It's ls, for instance. You see here that I'm in the home directory. So it's like you see here desktop, downloads, the stuff that you see in Finder, pictures, music, etc. We're going to just make a directory here. I'm gonna make dir, and then we're going to type node test. Node test. That if you're new to this show, you know that, new to me, you know that I can type. So we're going to go into node test, cd node test, that stands for change directory. And then we type ls, and instead it's a list, I guess, it's for ls, I don't know. And you see that, oh, it's an empty directory. I'm going to open up Visual Studio Code in this directory. So plus, that refers to this directory. So I open code in this directory. That's what that command does. Okay, okay, this is Visual Studio Code. It's a text editor. It's really nothing special about it. You can use any text editor that you want. I'm gonna create a file. I'm gonna call it hello. No, I'm gonna call it hello is fine. Hello is fine. There's a tab here, welcome. It's not very welcoming. I'm closing it, and I'm gonna close that sidebar as well because that's a bit distracting. So let me actually pull this here, like, and then the terminal goes here. Yes, go there. And now, since I'm going to do ls, so you see, oh, there's hello, it's now there. And I'm actually gonna run it with Node right now. I'm gonna just node hello.js. Oh my god, it ran, but nothing really happened because there's nothing in the file. So let's actually do something. Let's just do this normal thing. Alert, hello, and then run node.js. Boom, alert is not defined. Oh no, why is alert not defined? Well, remember how I said that Node is running things outside the browser? Well, outside the browser in the command line, we don't really have alert boxes. Like that's a browser thing, so we don't have those. But we do have the console. So if I do console.log, logo. Oh my god, I need to learn to type. Log, and we're gonna do. This is a standard programming. The phrase I'm going to write is very commonly used in programming to do stuff. And then I'm going to node, and then what was the file again? Hello.js, and it stuff. And like this is just JavaScript, so I can do var x, and then I can console log that out. Let's just call this instead like something more useful. Fluffykins. Oh my god, Fluffykins is a tiny dragon that breathes fire. Cool, and we're gonna run that. Node hello.js, Fluffykins is a tiny dragon that breathes fire. Okay, cool. We start to use Node.js. And this is really all that Node.js is. I could type any JavaScript here. Okay, I've said like 900 times now that this is all that Node.js is. That was a lie. I lied to make you more comfortable. There's actually one more thing. Node also has some built-in helper libraries in order to do I/O. What the f is I/O? It's very, very disconcerting when you use abbreviations. Sorry about that. I/O refers to input-output, like getting stuff into your programming and out of it. It basically refers to file system and the network. So like making requests to web services and things on the network, or opening connections on the network, and just reading and writing files. That's what we mean by I/O. And Node provides a bunch of libraries for that because browsers don't have that. They don't have a file system. They do have networking capabilities, but they are very limited. Like a browser can only make HTTP requests, so you have like the fetch function, but you don't really have ways of, doing advanced thingamabobs, but Node has that. But we don't really want to mess with that today. We just want to try reading a file. We're going to be recreating a new file. I'm going to save it. I'm going to call it hello.txt. Very creative of me. In this file, I'm going to write Fluffykins is a dragon. Dragon. And Wolfbane is a dragon. And Kitty Lunch is a cat. And this is quality programming content. This is what you came here for. Koro is a dog. And Multidog is a dog. Okay, and let's go back to hello.js, and then we are going to get the file module. So I think it's var file require file. Is this it? No, it's fs. It's fs. That's what it is. And then I think it's fs.read file. I'm just guessing here for now. And I'm going to write hello.txt. I'm going to see, and like we're going to assign this to var y. And then I'm going to do y. And then we're going to, it's a car outside the window. It's disturbing. We're going to run hello.js, and deprecation callback, calling an asynchronous function without callback is deprecated. Ew. Okay, let's unpack this error a little bit. Calling an asynchronous function, just a quick If you don't know the difference between synchronous and asynchronous, synchronous code means that it basically halts the operation of the execution of your code until that line is completed. So everything in your program just completely freezes. Synchronous programming on the web is actually quite uncommon nowadays. When I started out programming, making a request, like a network request, fetching like an external API, that actually just froze the entire page. So waiting for the thing to load, and then nothing happened. You couldn't click anything. Like the software is frozen. But that's actually super annoying, because you probably, right after initiating loading, you probably want to like set a little loading bar and a spinner, and you want to you probably also want the user to be able to click and select text and then, do the usual things while that thing is loading. That's just nice. When doing network requests, those take quite a long time. Like they can take like seconds. So you pretty much always want to wait for those. But when it comes to the file system, it's kind of like a borderline thing. Do you want that to be synchronous, or do you want that to be asynchronous? So actually Node provides both. So we could just do read file sync, hello text here, and then I think this would work. Yeah, then I get a buffer here. We're gonna look, let me just fix this actually. I think that I'm gonna parse this as UTF-8. There we go. This is the file encoding, because as you see here, this is just, bytes on the file. Because a computer file is really just a bunch of zeros and ones, that's all it is. So when, in order to parse that into text, you need to compare that to like encoding table, and because we might have different encodings. There's no such thing as a stored letter when it comes to data, and UTF-8, that's the most common encoding used in computing. We won't dwell into that, but basically these are bytes. The computer doesn't know how to read this, so we tell it read it as UTF-8, and then it actually makes sense because the file is encoded in UTF-8. Maybe we should make an episode on encoding, because that is one big interesting subject that is really important to know. Maybe let me know in the comments. Let's actually delete this and have proper name, file contents. You know what, I'm gonna stop using var here. We're gonna use const, because we're doing modern JavaScript. Const just means that this variable is not expected to change, and that's pretty handy because if we accidentally change it, it's gonna give us a warning. If you want it to be changeable, you'd use let. That's not special to Node.js, it's just JavaScript. But anyway, file contents is now these things here. However, this is a bit like unpedagogical, unlearny by me to show read file sync, because pretty much nothing in Node is synchronous. So in the asynchronous case, we are going to pass read file a function, a callback function, and the callback function it's a little function that is kind of like the little person that has the job of handling the result of read file. So it looks like this. It's just a function. And the first argument to the function, to the handler, the callback, is an error. You can call this error or anything. Like, it's just the order of the arguments that makes the difference. And the second argument is going to be the contents, or like the result, or rest, or like whatever you prefer to call it. It's the second argument. You name it anything you want. You see here, like, this is not going to work now because first of all, there's no file contents, and like we can't put it here because after we start the read file, it's just going to vroom, continue immediately. And then once it's and it's going to hit this line 6 here, after it's done reading, it's going to call this function with the result, and it's going to execute whatever's in here. Actually, let me demonstrate that. So I'm going to write here console.log. We have started reading. Then I'm going to do console.log. We have completed reading. And I'm going to run it. Node hello.js. See here, like we have started reading, we have completed reading. So you see here, like this is hit first, and then this is hit. So let's say that we actually did, I'm going to do let result, or like file contents, because let means that we can change it. And I'm going to assign file contents from res here. And then I'm going to console log res here. I'm going to go node, boom, res is not defined. Oh, sorry, I mean, I'm going to console log the file contents and run it again. And you see that, oh, that's undefined. Oh, do you get what that is? No, nobody's getting this. This is really confusing. Remember that this line here, line 7, actually, let me increase the size of this, the font. This file here, line 7, that is executed immediately after starting to read the file. And this here, line 5, is inside of this callback function that is only called with the results after it's done reading. So that means that console log here, it's going to read the contents of file contents here before file contents are assigned. So like, perhaps this makes it more obvious. Initial thing value. And then I'm going to go node hello.js, and then I'm going to go initial value. So if I just copy this here and do it after we assign the file contents, I'm going to node.js hello, then we'll see here like we first print initial value, and then wow, here prints the file contents. Maybe that is confusing to you, or maybe it's not. It was very confusing to me when I started out with this, but that might be because I was used to synchronous programming back then. You might not. It might be that you are super used to like fetching and stuff. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Now, let's actually do something with this, with these contents. That would be fun. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to get rid of that, and get rid of that, and I'm going to rename this for kicks contents. And right now this is just one big string. I kind of want to split that into an array. So I'm gonna do contents and contents. Jesus, that's super weird grammar. Content, and I'm going to call this. I think it's called split. Is it called split? Split. And I'm gonna split it by new line. Does that work? I'm gonna call it const lines. And I'm going to print lines, the first line. No, the second line. And that should be wolf, Bane is a dragon. Let's see if that works. Run that node. Oh, cool, it did. Wolfbane is a dragon. Okay, now lines is an array. Let's do some fun stuff here. Let's filter out the dogs. I only want the dogs. I don't want the dragons and the cats. And there's a little handy function on the array object that is called filter. And filter, just like read file takes a callback function, filter also takes a callback function, but it's different. It's a function that takes the line, and filter expects the callback function that it's passed to return either a true or false value, depending on if the line should be included or not. or the, and again, this is a callback. We can call this anything we want. I'm gonna call it L. No, I'm gonna call it line. The line. The line. So we're going to do, right, return the line includes dog. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then let's just call this const dogs. And just console log all the dogs. See what that gives us. Dogs. And we run it. Node hello. I'll call Caro is a dog, multi-dog is a dog. So all of this is just JavaScript. It's modern JavaScript. Includes is a pretty new thing in JavaScript, so it's not rolled out into like a ton of browsers. Oh, it's actually rolled out in a ton of browsers. But generally, you can be a lot more aggressive in Node.js when using modern JavaScript, because you know what execution environment is going to be, and you know that it's going to be on your server and what node version you have. So just for fun, because we know that we can use arrow functions, I'm going to use them. So I'm going to refactor that to an arrow function, and I'm going to remove that line here, and I'm going to deck that, and I'm going to put filter here. Hang on. This is confusing, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Okay, like it's not gonna be cool. It's not like an explosion, because we're programmers. No, nothing we do is actually cool, but it's amazing. And then I'm gonna do for each filtered line, and for each filtered line I'm going to do console log line. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm losing my mouse. And I'm gonna run that, and you see that car is a dog, multi-dog is a dog, and that's it. This is a little functional programming for you here. That's cool, huh? It's like a little pipe. You just split it, and then you filter it, and then you for each it, and then you just console log it. Perhaps that was a little bit weird for you. I don't know. Is this too much, too little? I'm trying to find a good level for dev tips. Did you find that too advanced? Did you find it too easy? Did you find it just too confusing? Like, let me know in the comments. Trying to make this into a channel that you like. Anyway, in summary, Node.js, it's just a way, an execution environment for running JavaScript outside of the browser in different things, mostly backend servers, and in this case, a little script locally that reads a file. You don't have to use text files. There are libraries for reading, Excel spreadsheets and parsing them. Like, you can create PDFs, whatever you want to do. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with this, like almost anything. And as you saw, because Node.js exists outside of the browser, it also provides some libraries, some I/O libraries, some input-output libraries for file interaction and networking. So that it can do things outside of the browser. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. It would just make the computer warm if it couldn't do anything. That is it. Hope you found that useful. Let me know in the comments. You have been watching Dev Tips. I am MPJ. If you liked this, subscribe so that you don't miss your next Dev Tips.